Question? I echoed softly. I want you to finally grasp something. The woman you wrote off as the help has been 10 steps ahead of you in every business move. While you were showing off about buying my company, I was quietly watching you expose every flaw in your own. Are you threatening us? Evelyn's voice trembled. Not at all, I replied. I'm offering you an education. I swept my hand toward the lobby around us. Every person working here, every server, every attendant you've sneered at, is part of what makes Aurora thrive. Their commitment, their expertise, that is what real value looks like. Not your name, not your social ranking, not your constant demands for special treatment. James stepped closer. Alex, I need to decide whether you want a life built on effort, I finished, or one built on entitlement. He's a Blackwood, Evelyn snapped. He belongs in real society, not fetching drinks and folding linens. Actually, James said, his voice strangely steady, I've been thinking about stepping away from the family firm. Maybe doing something that actually matters. What? Richard blurted, looking as if the floor tilted beneath him. Aurora has a strong management training track, I offered. Starting in housekeeping. Moving through every department. Learning the business from the ground up. Housekeeping? Cordelia gasped like the word was toxic. James, you can't. But I saw it. The shift in his eyes. Relief. Possibility. A door opening. When can I start? He asked. Evelyn collapsed onto a lobby sofa, her flawless posture drooping. This is a nightmare, simply a nightmare. No, I corrected gently. This is reality. The reality of how successful companies are built, through respect, effort, and understanding every corner of the work. I turned to go, then paused. Oh, and Richard? He looked up, defeated. Next time you attempt a hostile takeover, you might want to check who the owner is first. That little hotel girl might just be the CEO. Later that evening, I found James in the staff break room, his cashmere sweater replaced with an Aurora uniform. They've gone back to Boston, he said quietly. Dad's canceling all the acquisition plans. Mom's telling everyone Aurora properties are beneath their standards. And you? I asked gently. I'm ready to learn, he said with a small, earnest smile. Really learn. From the ground up. If you'll let me. The work is demanding, I warned. No advantages. No skipping steps. Good, he nodded. I don't want shortcuts. Not anymore. I handed him a name tag, James, housekeeping trainee, where every career here begins the same way, with a uniform and the willingness to work. As we walked through the halls, staff members who once avoided the Blackwood family now greeted him with quiet nods, not because of his last name, but because he was standing among them, learning, trying, building something real. Sometimes, I reflected, the best way to expose arrogance isn't through punishment. It's by offering a better way to live, even if that means starting in housekeeping with a silver spoon tucked in your pocket. Do not allow your past weariness to dictate your future. Do not allow yesterday's struggle to steal today's blessing. God is moving. God is acting. God is restoring. Stand firm, declare boldly, and walk confidently into the new season He has prepared. Your exhaustion is not permanent. Your struggle is not final. Your story is not finished. God is writing a new chapter, and it begins now. Do you feel the weight of yesterday pressing down on you? Do you sense the remnants of disappointment, the lingering shadows of betrayal, and the echoes of promises unfulfilled? Hear me clearly. God is not unaware of any of it. Every burden, every tear, every sleepless night has been recorded by His omniscient wisdom. Nothing escapes His notice. Even when you believed the world abandoned you, even when your efforts seemed in vain, God was quietly, powerfully, and faithfully at work orchestrating the end of the season that has exhausted you. You see, the exhaustion you feel is not a sign of God's absence. It is a sign of preparation. It is proof that the soil of your life is being tilled for a divine harvest. Proof that He is readying you for an overflow only He can provide. There is a principle in God's design. No season of struggle is eternal. Just as night eventually yields to dawn, your period of weariness is temporary. God measures seasons and determines the exact moment when struggle must end. He allows challenges not to punish, but to refine, to purify, and to awaken a deeper level of faith within you. You may not yet see the pattern, but understand this: every setback was part of a divine blueprint. Every disappointment was a rehearsal for your breakthrough. Every trial was a whisper from God reminding you He is your strength, your provider, your unwavering refuge. Do not let your eyes be distracted by the temporary. The world wants you to focus on the pain, to be defined by exhaustion, to accept limitation as reality. But God sees beyond the immediate. God sees the full trajectory of your life. He sees the glory that awaits once the season of fatigue has passed. And He is moving now with unstoppable authority to bring order to chaos, clarity where confusion has reigned, and energy where depletion has lingered. The season that drained you is not the end of your story. It is the prelude to your miracle. You may feel your faith has been tested beyond endurance, that prayers have gone unanswered, and that the weight on your shoulders is more than you can bear. Let me remind you, God does not measure your struggle by the burden, but by the strength He is preparing within you to overcome it. Exhaustion does not define weakness, it defines the stage before divine elevation. God does not raise the weak prematurely. He strengthens, keeps, and positions them so that when breakthrough arrives, it cannot be denied. The very fatigue you despise is being transformed into power. The weariness you fear is being turned into wisdom. The emptiness you feel is being filled with purpose that no human hand could create. It is time to rise above limitation. God is calling you out of despair and into faith, out of exhaustion and into strength, out of mere survival into the fullness of life He has prepared. You were not created to be trapped in cycles of struggle. You were not designed to remain fatigued, defeated, or frustrated. God has designed you for victory, abundance, and supernatural influence. But first, He must end the season that exhausts you. A new season cannot begin until the old one concludes. Consider this: when God brings closure to a season, it is absolute. It is decisive. It is uncompromising. Nothing can stop His momentum. The obstacles that once seemed insurmountable, the people who seemed immovable, the circumstances that felt permanent, all yield when God moves. He does not negotiate with limitation, He overcomes it. He does not tolerate stagnation, He propels you forward. He does not allow your past to dictate your future. The season that exhausted you will end. And with its conclusion comes a release that propels you into a life of divine favor, unshakable peace, and supernatural provision. Do not underestimate the power of your endurance. Every day you pressed forward. Every moment you held on despite fatigue. Every silent prayer lifted when it seemed no one was listening. These are the seeds God is using to create a harvest of blessing. God is not ending this season of exhaustion merely for relief. He is ending it to reveal His glory in your life, demonstrate His power, and show His faithfulness to those who trust Him. This is the moment your patience is rewarded, your perseverance honored, your faith validated. Understand this: God's restoration is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it comes as a quiet shift in circumstances that sets a cascade of change in motion. Sometimes it comes as a person entering your life at the right moment, an opportunity appearing when it seemed impossible, or clarity emerging where there was confusion. But make no mistake, when God moves, exhaustion flees, despair dissipates, and divine momentum takes over. You will recognize it. It will be undeniable, unmistakable, and irreversible. Prepare yourself spiritually, emotionally, and mentally to receive what God is bringing. Let go of the past. Release grudges, disappointments, and fears that tether you to the season that exhausted you. Forgive yourself for what you thought you should have done. Forgive circumstances for what you could not control. Most importantly, align your heart with God's will, so when breakthrough arrives, you are ready to embrace it fully. God's blessing cannot fully enter a heart weighed down by unresolved struggle. He is ending this season of exhaustion to make space for divine increase, unshakable joy, and unstoppable favor. Do not doubt the timing. Do not question the process. Do not underestimate God's faithfulness. The same God who orchestrates the sun, moves the stars, and turns the tides is working in your life right now. The same power that formed mountains, calmed storms, and delivered the faithful throughout generations will bring closure to the season that drained you. Your exhaustion is not final. Your struggle is not permanent. Your life is being redirected into channels of God's provision, favor, and unstoppable purpose. And you must speak. Declare with authority, aligned with God's promises. Speak life over your circumstances. Proclaim that the season that exhausted you is ending. Declare that fatigue will no longer define you, despair will no longer shadow you, and limitation will no longer contain you. Faith is active, and God responds to declarations of faith. When you boldly declare your season is over, your heart aligns with His power, your spirit rises in authority, and your breakthrough cannot be delayed. Consider the seasons of your life like a field lying fallow. For a time it appears barren, unproductive, lifeless. You wonder if it will ever yield fruit. But when God moves, when He decides the season of preparation is complete, the field bursts forth with abundance. The rain comes, the sun shines, the soil once exhausted becomes fertile. The harvest is not just enough, it overflows. This is God's pattern for you. Your exhaustion is the field. Your struggle is the soil. And the moment God intervenes, your life will overflow with blessings, favor, and divine opportunity. Do not allow your past failures, your mistakes, or your weariness to steal the joy of what is coming. God is ending the season that exhausted you, not only for relief, but for revelation. He is revealing His faithfulness, His power, and His perfect plan for your life. He is revealing that no matter how long the night seemed, the dawn always arrives. He is revealing that every tear you have shed is a seed for divine blessing. He is revealing that your endurance is not wasted and that every moment of waiting was part of a greater purpose only God could orchestrate. This is your moment to rise, to step into your calling with courage, to embrace the new season boldly, and to trust God with every part of your life. The season that exhausted you is ending. God is bringing relief, restoration, and reward. He is bringing clarity where there was confusion, strength where there was weakness, and opportunity where there was limitation. Do not be passive. Do not shrink back. Stand firm in faith. Declare victory over your circumstances and walk boldly into the future God has prepared. There is a reason you were tested. There is a reason life pressed heavily upon your spirit. God allowed the weight not to destroy you, but to reveal what is hidden within: resilience, faith, endurance, and unwavering strength. When God brings an end to a season, He does so not because the struggle was meaningless, but because it has prepared you for a level of authority, wisdom, and blessing you could not possess otherwise. Every difficulty, every heartache, every moment of silent despair has been a seed planted by God. And now the harvest is about to appear. The season that exhausted you was preparation. The season that follows will be manifestation. Do you understand the power of what God is doing? He is dismantling the old order of your life, the tired patterns, the discouragement, the limitations that whispered lies to your soul. God does not merely remove what is harmful, He replaces it. He replaces exhaustion with strength, confusion with clarity, despair with hope, and fear with divine courage. And when God replaces, He does it fully. There is no halfway restoration. There is no compromise. What He blesses is full, overflowing, and unmistakable. Some of you are holding on to what you think is security, even though it has exhausted you. You cling to routines, relationships, or habits that drain your spirit because they are familiar. But God is calling you to release. He is calling you to trust Him completely, to step out of comfort into the unknown, because the unknown is where He displays His power. The moment you loosen your grip on the old, the weary, and the unfulfilling, God will fill your hands with new opportunities, divine favor, and blessings your soul has longed for. Your season of exhaustion is not just ending, it is being replaced by the fullness of God's provision and glory. Do not fear what lies ahead. You may feel unprepared. You may feel inadequate. That is natural, but it is not truth. God equips those He calls. The strength, courage, and wisdom required for the new season are already being deposited into your spirit. What feels like weakness is merely preparation for the strength only God can produce. What feels like fear is an invitation for faith to rise. What feels like exhaustion is the moment before divine empowerment. When God ends a season, He does not leave you empty-handed. He places in your hands all you need to walk boldly into His purpose. Understand this: God's timing is flawless. He does not operate according to human impatience. He does not move by human standards of fairness or speed. But when He moves, it is unstoppable. The moment God decides your season of exhaustion has ended, everything aligned against you will be undone. What seemed permanent will vanish. What seemed insurmountable will crumble. What seemed distant will arrive with overwhelming speed. Forces that tried to hold you down cannot resist God's power. He is ending your season with authority, and it will be evident in ways that cannot be ignored. You may ask, how will I recognize it? How will I know God has truly ended this season? You will know because a divine shift will occur in your spirit. You will feel energy return where there was depletion. You will sense hope where despair lingered. You will see doors open that were previously closed. You will encounter favor you could not earn, opportunities you could not create, and breakthroughs that can only be explained as direct intervention from God. It will be undeniable, unmistakable, and life-altering. But God calls you to action. The end of a season requires more than passive waiting. It requires readiness. It requires faith in motion. It requires a willingness to step into the unknown, to embrace the new, and leave behind all that no longer serves the purpose God has prepared. Your readiness is the bridge between the season that exhausted you and the blessings God has prepared. If you hesitate, cling to the past, the harvest will be delayed. But if you move with courage, trust, and unwavering faith, you will experience God's restoration in full. Consider the power of your testimony. The struggles you endured, the burdens you carried, and the exhaustion you felt are not signs of defeat. They are proof that God is building a story of triumph in your life. When the season ends, your testimony will speak louder than any argument, greater than any doubt, and more powerful than any criticism. People will see the shift, and they will marvel, not at your strength, but at the God who restored you, lifted you, and brought you into abundance. The season that exhausted you will become the testimony that glorifies God. Remember, God's restoration is holistic. It is not just physical energy or financial relief. It is spiritual. It is emotional. It is relational. He restores your mind from worry, your heart from the scars of disappointment, and your spirit from despair. God does not only remove what exhausts you, He replaces it with what energizes, inspires, and empowers you. You will find renewed passion in your purpose, deeper clarity in decisions, and peace that surpasses understanding even amid new challenges. Do not let previous exhaustion define your expectations. God is not merely ending a season, He is beginning a new era in your life. A season of divine favor, unshakable faith, supernatural opportunity, and overflowing provision. One day, you will look back and realize everything you endured was not wasted. It prepared you for what is coming. God's timing, wisdom, and power are unmatched. The season of exhaustion was never meant to stay. It was meant to pass so the next season could shine in full glory. You must embrace hope with conviction. Hope is not passive. It is active. It is alive. It declares that your future is in God's hands, that He is faithful, and that He will bring closure to every trial. Every time doubt creeps in, speak hope. Every time fear whispers, speak faith. Every time exhaustion threatens to define you, proclaim that God is ending this season. Your words carry power. They align your spirit with God's will. They open doors for His intervention. Remember, the season of exhaustion has taught lessons that cannot be learned in ease or comfort. You have learned patience. You have learned the endurance. You have learned the value of trust in God. You have learned His presence sustains even when circumstances feel overwhelming. And now God is moving to replace struggle with strength, tears with joy, waiting with fulfillment, and despair with hope. The journey ahead is not a continuation of exhaustion. It is a launch pad for victory. Your strength will return. Your vision will become clear. Your purpose will ignite with passion. Doors will open that were previously closed. Divine connections will appear at the right time. Favor will manifest in ways beyond your understanding. The chains of the past will fall, and God's light will illuminate the path forward. You will walk boldly, not because the road is easy, but because God's presence is powerful, guiding, and unstoppable. Every prayer whispered in secret, every tear shed in silence, every moment you held on despite exhaustion, it is all coming together now. God is ending the season that drained you to prove His faithfulness. He is ending the season that weighed you down to reveal His power. He is ending the season that tested you to demonstrate His glory. When this season ends, your life will bear witness to His perfection, His wisdom, and His unwavering care. Listen closely, because what I am about to say is not mere encouragement, it is a divine declaration over your life. God is not only ending the season that exhausted you, He is establishing a new order in your life. There is a rhythm to divine intervention. Seasons of struggle are finite. Seasons of blessing are eternal when rooted in God's will. Every trial you endured was preparation. Every moment of fatigue, a divine shaping. Every night of despair, a call to deeper faith. You are standing on the threshold of a season that will reveal God's power, wisdom, and provision in ways you never imagined. Do you realize what this means? It means the sleepless nights, the endless worries, the burdens that felt impossible, they were never permanent. They were a proving ground designed to awaken a faith that refuses to be shaken, a courage that cannot be silenced, and a vision that cannot be diminished. God allows these seasons not to destroy you, but to awaken you. He allows them to push you to the edge, not to let you fall, but to teach you that when you lean fully on Him, the impossible becomes possible. Your exhaustion is not weakness. It is evidence God is preparing you for a manifestation of His power that will leave no doubt in your mind or heart. There is a divine pattern in life. Seasons of trial always give way to seasons of triumph. God never permits you to remain in one state indefinitely. Just as winter is followed by spring, your weariness will be replaced by vitality. Just as night yields to day, your despair will be replaced by hope. Just as a seed endures the darkness of soil before sprouting, you must endure exhaustion before rising into the fullness of God's blessing. The timing may seem delayed, but delay is not denial. God is orchestrating every detail, every circumstance, every encounter to ensure your season changes completely, permanently, and powerfully. You must also understand the end of exhaustion is not always immediate or loud. Sometimes it comes as a quiet shift within your spirit, a subtle increase of energy, sudden clarity in decision-making, a renewed sense of purpose dormant too long. Other times, it arrives as a dramatic breakthrough, a door opens, an opportunity appears, or circumstances shift beyond human explanation. But in every case, the result is the same. God is restoring what was lost, replenishing what was drained, and realigning your life with His divine will. The season that exhausted you will not only end, it will be replaced with the glory of His favor. Do not fear the transition. Change is the vehicle through which God brings elevation. You may feel uncertain or unsteady, but remember, God is your stability, your guide, and your source of strength. The same God who brought you through the storms of yesterday will bring you into the breakthroughs of today. He does not abandon His children in the midst of change. He leads them through it. He does not leave them unprepared for new seasons, He equips them. He does not allow past exhaustion to dictate future potential. He redeems it, transforms it, and multiplies it. Hear this clearly: God is ending this season for your sake, and for His glory. The way your life transforms, the way your strength returns, the way your faith becomes unshakable, it will testify to God's power and faithfulness. People will see it. Circumstances will see it. Even you will see it. Your exhaustion was never permanent. It was preparation for an unveiling of God's glory in your life. Do not diminish it. Do not despair. Do not doubt. God is moving, and His movement cannot be delayed or hindered. Consider the wisdom of endurance. Exhaustion tests more than your body. It tests your mind, heart, and spirit. It tempts you to give up, to abandon faith, to settle for less than God's best. But every time you refuse to surrender, every time you continue to believe despite fatigue, you build a spirit that cannot be broken. God honors those who endure. His reward is not only relief but elevation. The end of this season will not only restore your energy, it will elevate your life to influence, power, and blessing beyond anything you have known. Hold on to this truth: God's timing is perfect. He is never late, even when it feels like it. The season that has exhausted you is ending exactly when it should, at the precise moment you are fully prepared to embrace the blessings He has prepared. Do not rush the process. Do not despise preparation. Do not despise waiting. The wait is not wasted. The struggle is not meaningless. Every tear, every night of prayer, every moment of weariness, God has counted them all and will honor them all. Now it is your responsibility to respond in faith. To step boldly into this new season, release the old fully. Let go of habits, patterns, thoughts, and even people that contributed to your exhaustion. Open your heart fully to God's provision, guidance, and blessing. Faith is not passive, it requires action. Speak words aligned with God's promises. Declare the end of exhaustion. Proclaim the beginning of restoration. Lift your voice in trust, hope, and expectation, because God responds to faith in action. I want you to see your life differently today. The past does not define you. The struggles you endured do not limit you. The exhaustion you experienced does not determine your future. God is not only ending this season, He is replacing it with a life overflowing with strength, clarity, opportunity, and divine favor. Imagine a life where your decisions are guided by wisdom, your spirit is energized, your heart is free from despair, and your purpose is clear. This is the life God is bringing. This is the season of restoration, and it begins now. Do not underestimate what God is about to do. The breakthroughs, opportunities, divine connections, clarity of purpose, and restoration of peace and joy, they are coming. God's power is unstoppable. His timing is flawless. His wisdom is beyond comprehension. He is doing all of this for you. Every struggle, every tear, every moment of exhaustion was never wasted. It was preparation for a season that will glorify Him and transform your life beyond imagination.